Hi, so I got asked if I could do a video on playing chromatics on the natural horn. This is my Serafinov, and I've put the F crook in. So just before playing chromatics, just play an arpeggio, make sure the ear's calibrated. And we'll do a chromatic scale, just starting on that high written G. So this is my normal hand position. Obviously gets a little hard down there, and the notes below that, the C at the bottom of the staff, playing those chromatically very, very rare, even in chamber music of the early 19th century, still very rare. This one, not rare at all, and you can do that just by shifting the position of the mouth. Most of that's occurring inside the mouth, but I recommend training yourself doing that. Certainly G to F sharp, C to B. And then further up, not so much the G, but this note here, the 11th harmonic. So we're going to be using hand, but we want to use the mouth as well, and then we're going to try to use that 11th harmonic with the mouth as much as possible to shift it up, because even using the hand will still be slightly problematic on that F sharp. So the even more problematic note on the natural horn is the written A. And that sounds a little flat in some contexts, so if it was playing like the fourth chord 4 in the scale, it's not so bad. Occasionally we might try to drag the 14th harmonic, the B flat down, but I tend to find I find it very difficult to get it low enough. So will I get the A high enough by putting the hand out, or will I get it low enough by pulling the hand down? So context will show what other notes are around it, what we think the ear will accept, and how fast the note is, how quick it is to be played. So G, A, the high A flat is going to be very squeezed. So squeeze it as much as possible. The A is open as you can get the wrist, or even pull it out if you're not going to bump too much. And then the 3 highest notes. We don't need any hand position changes. And going higher, again, we don't need any hand position changes, because the 17th harmonic will give us a C sharp, and the 19th harmonics will give us a D sharp or an E flat, and so on. So that covers the sort of thing. So again, so F sharp as much as possible. F is not fully closed. We can get away with. If it's soft, try not to fully close it, not really squeezed, just a little bit off the edge, so we can get a veil. If it's playing really loud, then we're going to have to squeeze as much as possible, and I won't put the horn towards the microphone. And you just got to use every energy you've got, and often that's the way composers would want it to sound. But if it's failed, you can make it sound pretty sweet, just like you can get. So easy to get confused unless you practice a lot, and the chromatic scale is not usually going to come in that order anyway. It's going to be B flat going to an A, or B going to an A, not necessarily an A going to an A flat going to an A, this sort of thing. All right, so that's in brief. Going down below the third harmonic chromatically, you've got 3 notes really. I've occasionally seen a low E, very hard to produce, and the D flat's not so difficult, because that's just our normal stopping technique. Will get that. So fully stop, and the D flat is yours. Going lower than the second harmonic, just a handful of pieces, one of the Haydn symphonies, 51, has these sorts of notes. Going down the Beethoven sextet for 2 horns and strings. And you don't change the hand at all, it's all done with the lip. All right? So that gets us around the F crook. The D crook will feel a little bit different if you want to try that out. It's much the same, but every crook you put in, and again, whether you're playing soft or loud, will feel a little bit different as to how you put the hand. But the basic sort of positioning is obviously similar. So here's, let's calibrate those notes. So they're harder, I find, on the D crook. Those notes between the written E and the written C, down there on the 5th and 4th harmonics, I find them harder on the D crook than on the F crook, and so on. So, but the D crook is as low as you're going to go when it comes to chamber music and concerti in this on the classical horn. So anything lower than that won't be soloistic really. So you might have to play a low B fret crook, but the options that the composers or the notes they expect you to play won't be so chromatic. All right, so all the chromatic stuff's going to be mostly F crook, E, E flat, D. Occasionally you might see a bit of G crook in 19th century chamber music, some of the wind quintets and things like that. And later on you'll get, the Pavane by Ravel was written for the G crook, but it's not astonishingly chromatic and certainly not. But there's a little bit, a few different notes one can cover, but again, there's mostly diatonic. So that's a brief overview of playing chromatics on a couple of crooks on a natural classical horn.